Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Ashley, aka Read My Lips. This is the first video that I'm going to be doing ever, so I'm really excited to become part of the BookTube community. I've already kind of been part of it. I've been watching BookTube for a while. I feel like it would be so much fun to be part of this. A little bit about myself. I am a writer. I'm in the process of querying my first book, and I am an avid reader. I really like YA, dark fantasy with adventure, and NA, new adult fantasy, which I can go on and on about that being its own age group, and adult, a little bit of fantasy and sci-fi. Those are my preferable reads, but I also do read other things. Yeah, so today I'm going to be doing a February wrap-up. I only read 6 books this month, but I read 6 books this month, which I feel like is pretty good, but sometimes I watch videos and people are like, I read 10 books, and I'm like, what? I don't know how they do it, but 6 books is pretty good, and I can't wait to tell you guys all about it. So, the first book that I read in February is The Wicked King. I actually started this in January, but I finished it in February. I'm sure a bunch of you guys know what this book is about. This is the sequel to The Cruel Prince. In the first book, it's about Jude, who is a human that has been swept away into the world of the fairies and fae, and she kind of grew up there, but she doesn't belong, and she kind of, you know, is willing to do whatever it takes to prove her worth and to stay there. And she runs into this kind of bully named Cardan. I don't want to spoil too much, but, you know, she kind of gets wrapped up in the first book into politics, and in the second one, she's just trying to, like, keep her head above the water and not get buried or not drown, basically. But I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. Going back and reading The Cruel Prince, I would give that a 4 out of 5 stars now. I gave it a 5. I would give it a 4 out of 5 stars, and I would give this one a 5 out of 5. I loved the ending of this. Oh my gosh. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I love the kind of ending that makes you go like, did she really just do that? How dare Holly Black play me like that? But I really liked it. I know some people don't. Some people think it's overhyped, but this is my kind of book for sure. The second book I read was in preparation to read King of Scars. So I read Six of Crows, and then right after I read Crooked Kingdom, and I read these in like 3 days because the King of Scars had come out, and I was having serious FOMO, and I just wanted to be like everyone else and be able to read it. Six of Crows, at first, the beginning was a little slow for me, but then I got really emotionally invested in all of the characters. Oh my gosh, I think a lot of the reason why I joined BookTube was because I was watching so many people talk about the Grisha verse, like all of it. I read the Grisha trilogy, the entire Grisha trilogy in January for the first time ever. And then King of Scars was coming out, and there was so much hype, and everyone said that you need to read the Six of Crows duology before you read King of Scars, which I agree with. You do need to read it. And so I didn't really have my heart set on this. I really liked the Grisha trilogy. You know, this is a whole new cast in the same world, but I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel about it. And I had my reservations starting out, and then I really, really, really enjoyed it. Kaz and Inej, okay, like, I love them. Well, let's see what I wrote on this. I don't remember. Did I write a review? It would be nice if I did. I didn't! Anyways, if you haven't read this, it's basically 6 misfits, 6 very different people coming from very different backgrounds, getting together to do one heist that is going to make them rich beyond their wildest dreams. But with a heist that big, there's a lot of danger, there's a lot of twists, and there's a lot of emotions that come up. So I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. I wasn't obsessed with it. But I think as I read Crooked Kingdom, I got more obsessed with the world, and that's like a really big thing for me, is the world building. And so then we go to Crooked Kingdom, which I also gave a 4 out of 5 stars. I loved it. There were characters I didn't love. I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of Matthias. I'm not a huge fan of Nina. Not a huge fan of Jesper. But I love Wylan, I love Kaz, and I love Inej. And it's just awesome. Like, I love them very much. I felt like Crooked Kingdom took me a little bit longer to get through. It definitely had some stronger lines and some stronger scenes, but overall, I felt like it kind of went a little slow. To be honest, Leigh Bardugo probably could have combined this into one book. Not mad that there is a second book, but I just like plot-wise, I felt like the plot itself was really slow, but the characters and the scenes, it was a very character-driven book, I think. I very much enjoyed it though, 4 out of 5 stars for both of them, which leads me to the next book that I read, which was King of Scars. To say the least, I was disappointed. I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars because the writing was great, but it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. You know, this is supposed to be the Nikolai duology. It's supposed to be about Nikolai, and I honestly didn't really care about him that much. Nina's point of view, Nina's from the Six of Crows duology, and Zoya and Nikolai are both from the Grisha trilogy. Nina could have been taken out of the book and it would have been fine. And in fact, I think I would have liked it more if Nina wasn't in the book. Now, as I said, Nina was not my favorite character in the Six of Crows duology, but like, I didn't hate her. Like, I liked reading her stuff. I love how she loves waffles. Like, she's very sassy, very confident. Like, she's at some points a breath of fresh air in the Six of Crows duology, but in this one, she's just like, I had to fight to read her scenes. Like, it took me so much like self-control not to just completely skip a chapter. And to be honest, I did skip one full chapter of hers and it didn't make a difference. Like, I did not miss out on anything. Zoya, whoo, freaking love that girl. I didn't really like her in the Grisha trilogy, which I think that's the point, is you're not really supposed to like her. She's a very complex character. But this kind of felt like a Zoya book. Her character development, her, like, the background that is given on her, like, you learn so much about her and so much about her motivations and why and what she does. She is like a bad bitch. Like, I love her. She was amazing in this. Nikolai was okay. And honestly, this book is King of Scars. He's got a demon inside of him and he's trying to keep himself and his kingdom from falling apart. And it was like, mostly just like, all I wanted to do was read about Zoya. I didn't really care about anyone else, to be honest. Oh my gosh, the ending though. First of all, I have so many thoughts about the ending. I don't know, there's a lot of King of Scars like discussions with spoilers. I don't know if I'll make my own video, but I feel very strongly about it, so we'll see. Did I love this book? No. Will I read the second one? Hell yeah, I will, especially because of the ending that they gave me. You know I'll. But will I read this a second time? Probably not. Next book that I have read is Circe by Madeline Miller. It is about the goddess / witch Circe. If you know, this is the same author that wrote Song of Achilles. To be honest, I have not read Song of Achilles, but Circe sounded so much cooler, so I read this one first. Song of Achilles is on my TBR list, so maybe I'll read that in March. I'm trying to read more books in March than before, so we'll see. It was just kind of, I felt like I could relate to her so much in this. Her life kind of sucks in the beginning. She's just kind of there, and in her life, you know, she's got this like Titan as a father, this beautiful nymph as a mother, and these like beautiful, great siblings, and she's kind of like, none of her siblings like her. No one really likes her. She's always kind of been in the background, but she always watches people. And she's always had this fascination with humans. And, you know, in like Greek mythology, gods kind of just toy with humans because gods are immortal and they have like, you know, the feelings and the life of humans is such a game to them, and to her, like, you see the most character development when she interacts with humans. She spends centuries and thousands of years not progressing at all, and we see that in the beginning of the book as a person. And then when she interacts with humans, you know, that's when she really grows. And so I found it really interesting. It got a little boring, maybe 3/4 of the way in. The ending was all right. It wasn't like this isn't the kind of book you read if you're like, I want some action, I want like heartbreak, I want to cry, I want to throw the book across the wall. This is just, I think it was just a solid, good read, to be honest. And I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars because I felt like I learned a lot about mythology, which I wasn't very familiar with before. As you know, Circe is in the book The Odyssey. Madeline Miller knows her stuff. She knows Greek mythology and she studied this, and it shows, which I really appreciate. This is a very big thing to kind of write about because there's so much history, and it's basically Circe's biography. But I really liked it. It was good. Last book that I read in March, I was so excited for. I literally drove to Barnes & Noble the day that it came out and bought it, and I was so excited to read it. And to be honest, I was a little disappointed, and it is The Ruin of Kings. This is an adult fantasy by Jen Lyons. This is her debut novel. It was extremely convoluted, super complex. It was hard for me to keep track of the characters, of the world, of everything. There's just so much going on, and I wasn't a fan of the way that the story was told, because the story is told by some random character. It's hard to explain. The beginning, the main character is in jail, and they have this little magic rock, and the jailer is basically like, well, tell me your story. And he's like, no, I don't want to tell you my story. And she's like, tell me your story. And this rock, when you hold the rock, I can't remember it, hold on.
3 hours later.
Oh yeah. And this rock is basically like a recorder, and the jailer is this really cool monster that has like the memories of people that she's killed. So then it switches off between the main character, Kieran's point of view, and then Talon, the monster's point of view. So it's like first person point of view for Kieran, third person point of view for Talon and all the memories that she has. And then the other character, the person who's putting this together, it's like a letter. He annotates the bottom, and he has like little notes, and you don't even meet the character that's like annotating this and is like sending this as a letter until like 3/4 of the way through. The world was really cool. The goddesses were really awesome. The Talon, the monster, she's one of the villains. The jailer person, she's really cool. It was just disappointing. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. There's a dragon on here. There's dragons in it, but it's not a big part of it. It was just too hard to keep track of, and so it was a little disappointing. So I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. There were a lot of things I liked about it, but there were just too many problems that I had with it. So 3 out of 5 stars. And that is that. That is the tea. No, that is all for this February wrap up. Overall, I didn't give anything below a 3, so I would say that's pretty good. I wouldn't say I'm like a harsh reader, but 5 out of 5 is like I'm obsessed. 4 is like, would I read it again? Maybe not, but I really liked it. And then 3 was like either because I was disappointed,
because there were just too many issues with it.
Comment if you have any. Oh my gosh. Did I have that the whole time? I hope not. That's embarrassing. I'll have to watch the video back and see. But yeah, if you liked this, please subscribe. That would be awesome. I'd really appreciate that. And I'm so excited to be part of the BookTube community. And I'm so excited I feel like this is just one big book club. And I'm such a nerd, but I love it. Like, I don't know. I just really love it. But thank you so much for watching.